Hey, Chris Jenkins, credentialed member of the media, covering the Carolina Panthers for Charlotte Vibe, aka man of the people, because I enjoy working for the fans of the Carolina Panthers, especially during this time of the year. Number one pick, lots of excitement about this team, lots of questions, and I really do enjoy being your connection to the inside, what's going on about this Panthers team, so to keep you up to date as you prepare to cheer your team on to hopefully some success this season. And for all the people that were thinking like, hey, we ain't heard from Charlotte Vibe today. We got him. He gonna skip a day. No, you didn't get me. And I had to go exactly on time yesterday because I had a lot of haters that were like upset that I think I ended up being totally about 15 minutes late, but I shifted the time hoping that you all would see that we had to move it back. I'm back here again tonight for another late night. Things happen with family, but I'm here, okay? I can assure you that I'm always going to be here. Sometimes the timing may be off a little bit, but I'm not going to keep you guys not up to date about this Carolina Panthers team. So because it is later, we're going to jump right on into it and what we want to talk about today. Let's go ahead and give you an update on some of the injuries that this team has been dealing with. Some of these players are back out there today, like Dante Jackson, who we saw get carted off the field yesterday. He was dealing with a knee injury yesterday. He did, in fact, return to practice. So Dante Jackson carted out yesterday, did return and participate in practice today. We then had Cade Mays. He had a stinger. He has returning with from that injury to practice today as well. I just laughed a little bit here, and I gotta put this up on the screen. I was wondering if you was coming on. I am going to come on. Listen, I've asked you guys to help me reach 10,000 subscribers. We're not there yet, but we're pretty close. So I'm going to ask if you're watching, you haven't subscribed. There's not going to be a media member that works harder for you and directly with you than me. So please consider subscribing. It really, really does help me continue to get the interviews with players and coaches. I talked about it yesterday. I got one that's like 3/4 of the way lined up. Once my I's are dotted, T's are crossed, I'll tell you about that. And it's happening because of the growth of the channel. So please continue to subscribe to the channel. We also have the ability to join now if you want to support the channel because we are independent. There's the opportunity there. But yes, I'm not going to leave you guys hanging. That I promise. And Lil Tank 843, I got an update on your question coming up here in just a second. Jordan Thomas, he returned to practice today with a club on his arm. Give me just a second, if you will, here. All right, just want to verify some of my notes here because if I misspeak, you guys are going to get me, and I do not want that to happen. Miles Sanders, Marquis Haynes, both of those guys are back in practicing now. So will they play this weekend? Miles Sanders, he wants to play. He'll see what the coaches decide. Coaches weren't really tipping their hat about if he's going to play or not. I don't feel like it's too likely, as well as Marquis Haynes. Both of these guys are just coming back. There's a lot of time that they'll have to get some good reps and get some good physicality in after this game this Friday and then before the season opener in Atlanta. I kind of feel like you might as well keep those guys out for the rest of the preseason. Neither one of them are rookies. Neither one of them are even in their second year. So there's no need to rush them back right now. Continue to let them get strong. And it's a long season, right? The season starts September, I forget, mid-ish, 10th-ish, wild guess. I'm not looking at the calendar. And it goes through the end of December and out really into that first week of January. So there's not a big pressing need to get these guys out there against a team that they're going to be playing again in just not 5 weeks, but in week 5 of the NFL season. See some more comments coming through. I'm going to certainly put you all up on the screen because I do appreciate everybody that tunes in. You guys are what make the channel 100%, not me. I'm just trying to give you information to help you be prepared to cheer on your team come Sundays or if they have a special Monday night, Thursday night game. That's what I'm trying to do. Continuing on, Laviska Chenault, who I have been critical of recently because he has not been able to do anything. Could he be a bubble guy? He has no stats this preseason. And he's going to be out for a little bit. He's now in the concussion protocol. It was a hit that he took yesterday in practice, which I didn't see the hit, but I guess Frank Wright saw it, or at least had a chance to see it on film, and said it was not a hit that you see and like, ooh, it just seems like normal football, but training staff are doing what they're supposed to do. Laviska's doing what he's supposed to do, and he is now in the concussion protocol. Dante Jackson. So let me go ahead and Little Tank 843 said, how is Dante's injury doing? Well, it came out as a precaution Saturday, and was it Friday night? Man, I practice. They play football so much, and I'm at so many practices. I forget which days things are. I guess it was Friday. Yeah, Friday night in New York. He didn't play the full game, and he has yet to practice this week. He will not be playing Friday against the Detroit Lions. So I know some of it's precautionary because he's a valuable piece. He has been dinged up in the past. He's a veteran. Give those guys some rest. Hey, Brian Burns hasn't played a game yet, right? So it's not too shocking that he's not going to play Friday, but I will say, I can just say I'll keep a close eye out on it for you and continue to report about it. But here's a good thing. Troy Hill has now officially passed his physical, because he was in the building today, passed his physical and signed his contract. So he is officially a Carolina Panther, which now helps with the depth of potentially Dante Jackson or whomever, that could be needed. Depth is good to have it at all positions. Even if you don't have injuries, depth is good to have because you don't know when you're going to have a guy that maybe even needs to leave for a few plays, get checked out under the medical tent, come back out. So congrats for Troy Hill being officially signed. And one more thing about practice today. Our guy, the legendary Steve Smith, was out at practice again today. I think Steve Smith probably has the most visits of a former player to this Carolina Panthers team. He's been here numerous times. You've seen Thomas Davis. Luke Kuechly's been around several times as well. He needs to, because I think he has a job in the broadcast booth during the preseason, or maybe on radio. But nevertheless, Steve Smith was at practice today, coaching the guys on. And I got to put this comment up from Christian Ellis. You do amazing work. Thank for all that you do. Christian, I really, really appreciate it. And sometimes it does get really hard to continue to pump out so much content. But, hearing the feedback from you all continues to have me coming. So I appreciate it very much, Christian, for that comment. So Friday is the last preseason game. And I think Tuesday's the date, but I know it's the 29th. But coming shortly will be the roster cut down from 90 to 53. Assistant General Manager Dan Morgan talked with the media about that today. But before I go into that, again, with the Troy Hill signing, there was a corresponding move that needed to be made. And that move was releasing Marquan McCall. So just a little bit more information about the Marquan McCall waiver yesterday from Dan Morgan.
Did a good job for us. He came back in shape. He's a great kid, and I just think it really came down to fit. Just talking to the new staff, talking to Evero, and talking to the coaches, we just felt like it was time for us to kind of move on and give him an opportunity to, find another home. So I think that's why we did this now, is just to kind of give him that opportunity.
Fit how?
Just fit in our scheme. I think you want guys that fit your scheme and what the coaches want, and he wasn't doing what they really wanted. So I think from that standpoint, we just had to move on.
Marquan was not doing what the coaches really wanted. So therefore, he is no longer with the Carolina Panthers. I like to say breaking news just to kind of have fun with it. But breaking news. Marquan McCall is no longer unemployed. He is now a member of Bill Belichick's, and what's his name? Kraft? I can't remember Kraft's first name, but he's with the New England Patriots. He has now signed with the New England Patriots. So congratulations to him on continuing to have a job in this NFL league. Not for long, as they say, right? But Dan Morgan also went on to talk about this, which I think is very interesting. He just broke down. And, I really like Dan and I really like Scott Fitter on how I feel like they're just regular people and they really go to explain things to help us media people do our jobs and report to you all some things and some intricacies about the football operation. So Dan just went to voluntarily let us know, which I'm going to share with you all, that they're already fully into their process of getting this roster down from 90 to 53, which you imagine that they would be, right? But he said there's over 1,200 players that will be cut on cut down day, 1,200 players. And they have already 1,400, and I don't know how they get to that, but he said 1,400 reports on those players. And they're already breaking it down by position. They even have their scouts calling other teams. And I'm curious, like how often does the other team pick up or not pick up, or, don't they cooperate or they do not cooperate, but they have their scouts already calling other teams and saying, hey, are you interested in any trades? Hey, is there any needs that you have? Just trying to get a process and a feel for whatever team likes and needs on their current team so that they can also be in position to try to make a deal or, see who may be coming on the who may be cut to make the decision to build the roster, to continue to make this roster the best at every single position that they have. So they feel like they can make this roster better with their process and their scouts looking at people. And that's what they're going to continue to do. They're going to heavily evaluate every opportunity to continue to make this team better. So if you're not liking what you've been seeing so far, if you're wondering how much they're going to continue to try to improve and be a winning team, they are. And it was good to hear that from the coaching staff, from the assistant general manager. But I know I said yesterday in terms of this team and the 0-2 preseason and them getting things together, that they have too many coaches that have a lot of experience. And they have people, which, Dan just showed me today from their front office, that they should not, they just should not have a Matt Rule kind of experience where it's just like, oh my goodness, they're atrocious. They're terrible. All the promises aren't coming true. We may come short, but we just should not fall that short, in my opinion, with the staff, with the coaches that they have in place for this Carolina Panthers team. We'll also stand top 10 in the waiver position, so they feel pretty good about any guys that they are wanting to get from that during this period when cuts are happening, that with such a high waiver pick, that they'll still be able to get whomever they may want to get. A few other notes from today's press conferences. Let's see, I had a chance to speak with Frank Wright, and he said playing all four quarterbacks would be pretty cool and nice to happen this weekend. But says, some things would need to be going pretty well for that to happen. For example, scoring a lot of touchdowns. He said if you're scoring a lot of touchdowns, you like to end every unit, first team, second team, with such a positive series, such as ending on a touchdown. So that would be great. We'll see what happens. But right now he didn't say, we're absolutely going to play four quarterbacks. I don't see that happen at all, though. I see three. I see Bryce, Matt Corral, and Jake. I see the same rotation as we saw for the New York Giants. I really don't see and expect to see Andy Dalton at all this Friday when we take on the Detroit Lions. What's up, Chance Hines? Appreciate you tuning in and saying what's up. We're near the end, so appreciate you coming on. I know it's pretty late, but I cannot skip a day and not keep my subscribers informed about what's going on with this Carolina Panthers team. Marquis Haynes spoke with the media today. In short, a few things coming from his press conference was he feels good about playing. He feels darn good about playing in the opener in terms of playing for Friday against the Detroit Lions. It's up to the coaches. He'll just do whatever they're asking of him. And when asked about what skill set does he have that he feels will contribute a lot to this new scheme, he said speed. A lot of speed, and this defense that they're currently playing allows him to stand up and have speed and use his speed to wreak havoc on the offense. Miles Sanders also had a chance to speak with the media, saying that he's going to be ready for week 1, and he's just been enjoying his time here in Carolina. Enjoys still being coached by Deuce Staley. It's different for him kind of being the older guy in the room, but he's taken his job seriously. He's been a mentor when he needs to be. He's been vocal when he needs to be vocal. He's leading by example when he needs to lead by example. But for him, learning from his experience being in Philly, he is just ready to do whatever he can, whether that's run the ball 50 times, whether that's catch the ball 50 times, or whether that's just simply block 50 times to get this team into the W each and every week. That's the kind of player he is. He's humble. He's not about him. He says, hey, credit to my mom, but he's always been like that and just wants to help this team win, just wants to be a part of anything good. Candyman, have you heard anything about a running back trade? I have not heard anything at all about a running back trade. I don't know who we would trade for or with between our guys. So if you have something to share with me, Candyman, some more information behind that question, I'll give you a minute to let me know. But I have not heard anything about a running back trade. Now, surprisingly, there could be some small chatter about our kicker Wright, but if that happens where somebody ends up wanting Wright, then they'll listen because they are sold on Pinheiro being their kicker. So before we wrap up, I'm going to give you all another moment to ask any questions. Again, I know it's a little bit late, so I'm normally sleeping around this time, at least on the East Coast. Maybe you guys on the West Coast are still up because I know we do have fans and watchers from all over the world that tune into the show, which is appreciated. All right, so we did have a few more questions come on here from Anthony McNeely. Have I heard anything about Cameron People? So Deuce Staley also spoke with the media today and said that, he likes all of his guys. They all have different strengths. I feel like I said that word kind of strange. They have different strengths, and he loves them all. And for Cameron Peoples, he's a guy that has not gotten many opportunities. He's hoping that he gets an opportunity this weekend, and he takes advantage of it. So it does seem like they're wanting to get Cameron Peoples some time. He said just unfortunately hadn't worked out what he's been able to get any time before now. But hopes, and I would say be optimistic that Cameron Peoples will get some play in time this Friday, as it's really his last opportunity, right? If they don't give him any opportunity, he can might as well, the writing's on the wall, Cameron, you're not going to be on this team. Don't think that they're going to do that. So I feel strongly that they're going to, based on, what Deuce Staley said today about wanting to get him an opportunity, knowing also that it's the last chance to get him an opportunity. I feel like we're going to see Cameron Peoples this Friday. I think we'll just be fine in the running back situation, but what about the Taylor rumors? I mean, anytime that there's a running back or a player of significant skills available, but I really wouldn't see. I feel like that's more of a rumor just from fans talking about it on Twitter and other places, but I have not heard anything to that nature. Yeah, I really don't feel like that would happen. They're both young. Sanders and Taylor are both young. Deuce Staley wanted Miles Sanders here. Not to say that will mean, hey, because I wanted a guy here, Deuce is, the decision maker, because no, that goes over to Scott Fitterer. But I know we had the shocking thing with Marquan. He is still an undrafted free agent that made the team and was looking to be effective. But Miles Sanders, I feel like that's our guy, and we're gonna be rocking with him. Appreciate the question, Chance. Candyman, West Coast. Candyman, where are you at on the West Coast? I mean, West Coast is predominantly California, but I don't want to assume it, and it is cool to know where people are from. So Candyman, if you're still tuned in, if you hadn't fallen asleep yet, let me know where you are on the West Coast. I think out in the West Coast, it is 8:05. So appreciate you tuning in, Candyman. Phi Beta hitters, did they practice today or was it a walkthrough? They actually some days have both. They'll have a walkthrough, go back in, come back out, and they'll actually have a practice. Today they did have practice. Tomorrow they will have practice as well. Let me make double sure of that. I'm pretty sure tomorrow's a regular practice. Give me just a second to look at my itinerary for this week. Tomorrow being Wednesday. Yeah. Practice tomorrow, hour and a half practice. So, and there's no media availability on Thursday. They might do a walkthrough, but there's no practice for the media to attend to. So, appreciate the question there. Central Valley. All right, Central Valley. Appreciate you tuning in. Cedar. You do really great. I watch all your videos. Keep it up, man. Best Panther channel. What's your cash app? I have $10 for the channel. My man, hey, I appreciate it. I appreciate it. So the cash app is CVIBE, C-V-I-B-E. There's also a link in the description for that. And just as of yesterday, we got our memberships going for those who are able to do some monthly contributions to the channel. It helps. Today, I've been looking. You guys don't know. Like, I love what I do, and I don't try to say like you guys are supposed to. But I feel since I'm telling you that you support the channel, I need to tell you why and what's going on. So today, I was spending quite a bit of time trying to figure out the way to travel to Detroit for that game to give you the coverage that you all like. And, you know, maybe one day we'll have some big company supporters, but I tell you, I like the idea of you all owning this channel and supporting this channel and allowing me to do whatever I want to do versus having to say, oh, well, my sponsor wants me to say this or my sponsor wants me to do that. And I can just do what you guys want me to do. So Cedar, appreciate you very much for that contribution. Again, CVIBE, and that information is also in the description for you to be able to do that. And when I say I work for you guys, please, if there's something that you want to see, an idea that you have for the channel, this is your channel. Let me know, and I will do what I can to make it happen. I can't make everything happen, but that's where I go back to saying the more subscribers that I have, it gives me more momentum to get those things done for you guys. So appreciate it, Cedar. Anthony McNeely out in Long Beach, California. Man, I remember going to Long Beach with my son about 4 years ago, and I enjoyed my time in California. Long Beach was pretty cool. The beach itself in Long Beach was cool in that it's really, really, I feel like actually this is most California beaches, but I know they had a nice sidewalk did we ride bikes on it? I don't know, but Long Beach was cool. I enjoyed my time in Long Beach. Went there a couple of times for that 1 week that I went out to California. Lost my place with the comments. San Francisco, California. Locos from San Francisco. I had some good, I think it's called dim sum, out in San Francisco. San Francisco is a city that I feel like I was a little ignorant. It was impressive to me. San Francisco is an impressive place. Expensive. I could only afford to visit, but it was an impressive place, nevertheless. Loco, thank you for tuning in and chatting it up with me a little bit tonight. Missed those play-by-plays. So today, since Phi Beta is going to call me out, I'm telling you, the thing that you get when watching this channel is we're going to all be family as much as we can. And I like to be personable and bring you behind the scenes stuff, let you know what it's like doing my job. I just think it's fun to do that because I look at it as just, I'm a person that's lucky enough to have my company be credentialed. I'm going to do all I can to bring you lots of good, unique information because of that. So one of our children today hit their head during recess at school, and my wife called me, and I was on my way to practice, and she was not nearby at all. She was far away, so I was not able to personally be present and practice today to give you those play-by-plays. My bad. I will be there tomorrow. I'll sweat it out. It's been like mid-90s at practice all week. I'll get you the play-by-plays, and I'm pretty sure this will be the last play-by-play that I'm able to get, because next week, I think is when we go into regular season mode. If not, you'll get it. I'll give you whatever I can. But thanks for mentioning it, Phi Beta. Appreciate you mentioning that. Chance Hines, I'm in the middle of Viking land here in Minnesota. You're going to be coming to Charlotte for the game? Because we play Minnesota. That would be pretty cool. Michael Biddy. Hey, you got a nice family photo. Looks like you got, man, you got a lot of babies. You got twins, Michael? I see 5 kids. I can't tell the gender of the babies, but it looks like boys. Michael, tell me, I'm going to get to your question, but your picture caught me off guard, and I'm curious about the family dynamics. But tuning in late, have they mentioned playing time for the starters on Friday? So they're not directly mentioning. He used a lot of TBD. I don't know why, but basically they're wanting to evaluate things, and once that evaluation is complete, then they're going to move one group out. Example, the ones, if they come out, have a nice, good scoring drive, 10, 15 plays, 10 minutes, something like that, 15 plays, 10 minutes, you might not see Bryce anymore. But he's saying that he feels like it's going to be pretty much the same thing that we had in New York. Now, on the defensive side, that's where they play the fewest starters. That certainly looks to be the trend that's going to continue. Brian Burns, Justin Houston, Derek Brown, Dante Jackson, Troy Hill. I don't know if I just already said Troy Hill's name. And some that they will not be playing on the defensive side. And offensive side, they're playing more. Andy Dalton probably won't play. Bryce is likely to play 2 series. And then you're going to have the other guys come in. Now, what you should see are some guys that you haven't seen play all season, like a Cameron Peoples, get some playing time as they make those final evaluations to see if they're going to keep guys or not. Appreciate the question, Michael. And if you're up to it, I'd love to hear about that family dynamic, because it looked like a great picture. Y'all have a good night. Appreciate you tuning in, Candyman. Yeah, so Michael, you got 5 boys and then twins. Are you done? Wow, man. Congratulations to you. Congratulations to you, Michael. All 5 are boys. I got to tell you, man, that must feel great. I wonder how your wife feels about that. Here at the Jenkins household, I tried to match you, man. I tried to match you. We currently have 3 boys, and now we're going to be having our first girl here in mid-October. Everybody out there, in case you forgot, please continue to pray for me well, number one, that this is a healthy delivery and baby comes healthy whenever she comes. But right now she's due during the bye week. And that would be great if she's able to come during the bye week. So we'll have three boys and 1 girl. And I think we'll be done at this point. But thanks for talking along with me here this evening, Mike. And then little Tank says, keep pounding. I guess some people are tuning out, signing off, I should say. We got 45 more seconds. I'll go ahead and make it a 30-minute show. Give anybody else a chance to ask a question that may be up this late and want to talk about some Carolina Panthers. If not, I'll go ahead and plug. Please continue to follow us on all social media. Charlotte Vibe, all together is one word. We have a darn good photographer. So if you love seeing pictures from the game, we'll post a few on our YouTube, but we have a lot more that we post on our Twitter, and all of them go on Instagram. So be sure to check out our Twitter and Instagram if you like to see the pictures of the Carolina Panthers. Final question here came in right at the buzzer. Ty says, is it time to let go of Jackson? Nah, You don't let go of Jackson. You still let him keep playing. But this year could, this year could tell. This year could tell if he has some more injuries that makes him miss some games, then I think you start to get into that. But if he just has injuries where he misses some plays or he maybe does not practice, I feel like he's still in good shape. All right. One more since IQ Ball Out didn't ask me until now. How do you feel about Miles? Haven't been able to see him much recently because of the injury, but I have been liking what I do see from him. I mean, honestly, a lot of these running backs look good. Miles looks good. Raheem Blackshear has looked good. His size just makes me wonder, though, like how effectively could he really be for us? I feel like Blackshear is more like a situational guy. I've liked Spencer Brown and how he runs. I mean, really, truly, all these guys have looked pretty good. But Miles Sanders stands out just in the dynamic of being a very good running back and a very good catching dual threat running back. Appreciate the question, IQ Ball Out. That's going to be it for me tonight. Thank you so much for tuning in, everybody that had a chance to do so. Subscribe to the channel. If you watched the video up until this point and you haven't subscribed, do yourself a favor. Go ahead and subscribe. Turn on the bell notification. And for all those that have subscribed, hit the like button. It helps other Panthers fans find out about the channel. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Chris Jenkins for Charlotte Vibe.